Okay, when it comes to making sheaths and holsters and belts, you generally want to stick to vegetable tanned leather. The majority of the leather that you see in the world is chrome tanned leather. It's named that because of the chromium used in the tanning process. It's much cheaper and faster to tan, so it's a lot more common. It's also somewhat waterproof, or can be, which is another reason it's popular for things like work boots and gloves and, you know, upholstery, things like that. But vegetable tan leather is usually more expensive because it takes so much longer to make it through the tanning process. It can take up to a month to tan one hide, and it uses much more natural materials like tree bark. The benefit is that you usually get much thicker leather. It's a lot stiffer, more full bodied, and it ages much better than chrome tan leather. Also, the products that you make with vegetable tan leather usually take on a whole different art form because you can do a lot more with it. If you're dealing with an untreated, you know, raw, natural vegetable tan tooling leather, it can be carved into, it can be stamped, it can be molded, and it can be made into something that will literally last for generations. So if you plan on making sheaths and holsters, I definitely recommend sticking with vegetable tan leather, especially if you plan on tooling or stamping, or you'd like to mold it around something, like you want to get a really nice fit on a knife or a gun in a holster. Then you're gonna have to go with vegetable tan. I think for sheaths and holsters, a pretty decent weight to start out with would be something like 8 to 9 ounce. That's what this hide is. And this is a big piece of Herman Oak natural tooling that I cut down into pieces to make it more manageable so I can get it over to my clicker press. But this stuff's kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to holsters, sheaths, belts, tack saddlery. It could be the best vegetable tan leather you can get your hands on, at least in the US. So 8 to 9 ounces is usually a pretty decent place to start for holsters and sheaths. If you're making something small like a pocket knife sheath, I wouldn't go much heavier than 8 to 9 ounces. And of course it depends on what you're making, but if you're making something small and compact, you probably wouldn't want to go much heavier than 8 to 9 ounces, like for a small pocket knife pancake sheath. But if you're making a belt, something you need a lot of durability and strength to, then I would maybe go a little bit heavier, like 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 13, somewhere around there. So within the vegetable tan category, there's a big variety of leather you can get with different, you know, wax and oil content, different dyes. Some leather's drum dyed. This is part of a belt project I'm working on, but it's from a finished side of leather that has kind of a chestnut color. It's really beautiful. This is from American Leather Direct, and it's called a holster strap tannage. So it's supposed to be pretty decent for molding, tooling, stamping. But from my experience, if you plan on molding or tooling or anything like that, you're way better off just going with an untreated raw vegetable tan side, like this. I've made a lot of holsters and sheaths out of this stuff. It can be done, but it doesn't absorb water as well, and it doesn't take a stamp very well. So if you're trying to case the leather by getting it wet, or just trying to mold it around an object, it doesn't stay wet. The water kind of just beads up and rolls off, and it's actually pretty frustrating. So while I really love the look and finish of this leather, you're gonna have a much tougher time getting good results. And you'd probably be better off just starting out with some good old classic untreated veg tan. Once you're done tooling and stamping or molding, you can always apply dye or oil to get the look that you're going for. This isn't a sponsored video, but I just wanted to mention a few places that I like to get vegetable tan leather from. My favorite one lately has been Buckle Guy, because they have a huge variety. You know, they don't just have Wicked and Craig or Sedgwick or, you know, Horween. They've got a full spectrum of good suppliers. They've got a full spectrum of good tanneries to choose from, and they will break them down into manageable panels so that you can buy just little pieces to test it out. So you're not forced to buy you know, $250 hide with the risk of not liking it. Tandy always has a big selection of natural vegetable tan tooling leather. And the good thing about Tandy is you can walk in there and actually choose it yourself. When you're ordering online, you don't know if you're going to be getting some, you know, low grain, nasty brands or scratches or whatever. So I like to be able to sort through it and pick one out. And Tandy's just about the only place, at least for me, that I can do that. But if you want something domestic, you want US tanned leather, you can always check out Wicked and Craig and Herman Oak. And Springfield Leather Company is a supplier of Herman Oak. They sell B grade and Craftsman grade, which is like their economy stuff. And I've heard pretty good things about ordering from them. Weaver also carries Herman Oak, as well as their own imported natural vegetable tan stuff. Bill from District Leather Supply runs a lot of specials and deals on some good veg tan stuff like Wicked and Craig, and Rocky Mountain Leather Supply. Who am I missing out? Hide House has a good selection. Anyway, we don't need to run through the full gambit. That's a lot of options right there. So if you're looking for something, you can go pick something up. And I'll just have a list of links down below in case you want to do some shopping. So I hope that gives you a little bit of direction if you're just about to embark on a new holster or sheath project. If you got any questions, let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.